Get into some of tonight's fixtures and to talk about Real Madrid in a second, but to focus on Spurs for a minute if we can ahead of their game at Wembley tonight in Group H. I've read some previews of this where people are talking about this in the context of the 1-1 draw that Spurs got at the Bernabeu being a bit of a free hit for Spurs. I would kind of argue maybe the exact opposite, because this is a Tottenham team obviously that have come on in leaps and bounds from last season, and even in the context of the Spanish leg, it's a team that went to Spain, that almost pulled off the 1-0 win, that had a bit of a makeshift midfield. They were there without Dele Alli. I actually think this isn't a free hit. I think now there's an expectation that this Tottenham team can actually go ahead and beat Real Madrid tonight.
The evidence of the first game backs you strongly. It's a point that I've made in the Spurs match programme for tonight's game. There are very few teams that go to the Bernabeu, get a 1-1 draw, and get a round of applause from the Spanish media for their organisation, for the panache, for the way in which the link-up play set up Kane, for Kane's play itself. Boy, Spurs came away from what is a very hawkish, very self-centred media assessment with AAA scores. Beyond that, Zidane is not successful because he was a good player. Zidane's scouting team, Zidane's own football eye, had him telling his players, had him talking to the media, admitting that Spurs were a threat from before that match. I thought that given that Real Madrid are one of the best transition teams, on their day they're the best transition team in the world, where they win the ball anywhere in the pitch and the movement through the midfield takes them to scoring positions with as much fluidity and as much cutting edge as any other top team. I thought the absence of Wanyama, you used the phrase makeshift midfield, I thought Wanyama's organisation and ability to rob and defend might cost them. It didn't. Dele Alli, I accept, adds threat. He doesn't add structure. I'm not convinced in the way that Wanyama did. So their result there was absolutely fantastic. And the two keepers had who's better? Anything you can do, I can do competition between Lloris and Keylor Navas. Tonight, it bears very little resemblance to that match, in my opinion. Number one, Casilla in goals is not the same as Keylor Navas. There is still no Dani Carvajal, and his service, he plays like an auxiliary winger, his service to Benzema and to Cristiano Ronaldo is responsible for a huge number of chances and goals. Right now, Ronaldo continues to look at his feet as if he's put them on the wrong way in the morning. The Girona game is one that will help Spurs a little bit, dent their confidence a little bit. Madrid's confidence a little bit.
About that. So Girona beat Real Madrid at the weekend. In the context of everything that's happening there politically, Girona, a city in the Catalan region, obviously there was a lot of celebrations among the pro-independence groups following that result. And I did wonder sort of what impact a result like that would have on the game tonight, whether this is actually like a really good time to be playing Real Madrid, and that idea that you kind of touched on of this Real Madrid team creating lots, scoring little.
Yeah, first of all, you're right to make the poetic statement that at a time when 100 kilometres south, hundreds of thousands of people had gathered in the Catalan capital in Barcelona to wave Spain flags against independence, there was the Girona crowd, 14,000 because of the temporary stand, shouting Independencia in the 17th minute, as loudly as I've ever heard the Camp Nou do with 80, 90,000 people. They won't get independence because Girona won. But there was a lot of salt to be rubbed in the wound. The chairman of Girona is Del Figelli, ex-Atletico Madrid, won the double in 96. It was a Guardiola FC team that beat Real Madrid, wasn't it? To leave Barcelona 8 points clear because Pep Guardiola owns it. Pep Guardiola's employers half own it with Pep Guardiola. There were Man City players on the pitch. The result left Girona winning and Barcelona 8 points clear. Madrid have never overturned an 8-point gap on any leader in La Liga history to go on and win the title. What else do you want to rub salt in the wound? The reason I said it will help Spurs a little bit is that they've seen a template, because make no mistake about it, lads and viewers, Girona outplayed Madrid. It wasn't the fact that Madrid tossed it away or were inept or kicked the ball in their own net. Girona pressed them, outran them, took risks. There's a really big thing for Pochettino's side. They went beyond their men. they built 2-3 quick passing movements in a row, rather than just playing speculatively, holding on, trying for a quick sucker punch and then clinging on. Can Spurs match that tempo? Spurs are better players than Girona, that's obvious. Can they match that tempo? Will they be able to take the template and say, we'll apply that to the big pitch at Wembley? It was tight at Girona. I find it fascinating what happened at the weekend, but I would worry that it's a wake-up call. Mark Muniz of Stoke, who's playing for Girona that weekend, sort of hammered Madrid, turned up haughty, overconfident, looked apathetic. Now, these are words that Zidane and Real Madrid don't like hearing about themselves. I think that was, even more than the result, the words will be a jar of cold water over the head. And they're under strength, Madrid. They're off the pace in scoring terms. But I like the proverb of never poke a sharp stick at a sleeping tiger. And I think we'll see more claws tonight from Real Madrid, and a bigger test for Tottenham than Girona found.